Hello, everybody. Welcome to this Facebook Live this morning. I'm in from New York City. We have Madhavi Guemoes, my dear friend, and someone who I'm a big fan of from Germany today. So it's late at night for her. We're curious where you're all from. Everybody, please write in the comments where you're from so we can know who's here and where you're representing. I'm so excited to introduce you all to Madhavi. I have known her for many years, have been watching her grow and learn and share her life with people, and I'm so excited to share her with you. Something very exciting has happened for her recently, which is one of her books just came out. It's not her first. It's called Stay True. It's beautiful. I've been with her through her journey of writing it, and this is something that a lot of our clients at Hindell Group dream of doing. So I thought it would be very cool for you to meet a real life person who did it and hear a little bit more about her story, like the inner workings of what it takes to bring a dream into reality. So my first question has to do with the higher purpose. I'm always teaching my clients to get in touch with the higher purpose of what they're doing, or else why bother? And also because it's inspiring. So what inspired the book?
First, thanks for having me. Actually, I wanted to write this book 5 years ago. I had this in my mind, and I had also someone, a publisher, or like, how do you say? It was someone who wanted to connect me with a publisher, and she was believing in me. And I was like, yes, I'm starting it. And then I never did. I was too afraid. I was like, oh my God, I can't do that because then I have to show up. I have to, I will be more seen, and I will be more vulnerable, and it was very difficult. So I didn't do it. So, and then I had my dream about that, and I worked with the Hindell Group with that. And then I first published a cookbook because that seems a bit more safe for me, like a cookbook book. And then it was published in last September, and that went quite well. So I thought, okay, I can do the other thing because I now know how to do a book. So I had like 4 months to do that, and I had everything in my mind, and the purpose was like actually my own way, also with the Hindell Group and my spiritual way. The purpose was like you can meditate, and you can do yoga, and you can you can do workshops and everything. But if you don't do the work, the real work, like opening your letters, like not lying, not shouting, not gossiping and all this stuff, you can meditate for hours, but nothing will change. So my purpose was it's so important to do that work. You can't shine and you can't grow when you don't dig deeper.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I like that. It almost feels like it's a bit of a testimonial for what we're teaching, and it's always nice to see that. It's nice to see that it's working for people and that it's proving true. So you accomplished something really difficult in a really short period of time. What obstacles did you have to overcome? Obviously, you mentioned the original fear of vulnerability. Was there anything else you had to overcome?
Yeah. After that, when I thought about publishing it, I was like, I had 3 months.
That's very short.
3 to 4.
Yeah.
And I can write very quick because I have everything in my mind. I don't have to, it's something I worked on. The first month I couldn't write. I had a total, a block.
That's how we say it.
And I worked with you through that. So we worked with the focus to stay focused. And actually, I heard my inner calling to go away from Berlin. I went to New York to start the book. So I was there for 1 week, and then I started with the help with you. And we worked on the focus thing, the focus to getting started. And then the focus was really difficult because it was also Christmas time. So I wanted to be with my friends and family. And I just had to sit on my desktop and writing my book. So that was hard. And then when I started, with all my challenges you gave me, I get it done. Got it done.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously employed physical integrity, right? You made a plan and you stuck to your plan, but you also had this wonderful consequence built in, which is that you had a particular due date that you had to meet. So there's nothing like the power of a consequence. So speaking of Handel methods, is there any particular Handel method you think you used specifically to help you accomplish this major thing?
Yeah, I designed every day. I designed every day. I did it the evening before the next day. I always designed how I will feel, how proud I am, how many pages I've written already, in past tense, and that worked well with me. And also like having consequences. I don't like consequences, that. Since 1 week, I'm a big fan of consequences again. Like you gave me my tube.
She's back, people.
I worked with the consequences, and of course the daily design. The daily design is my main focus because it works so much.
Right.
So well.
For people who are not familiar with the daily design, it's a practice of just specifically mapping out your day as though it already happened. So it's actually another way of dreaming or another way of manifesting what you want. And Madhavi even writes it literally in past tense as though it already happened. So she not only is planning her day mentally, but she's feeling how she wants to feel. And that is extremely, extremely powerful because again, we lose inspiration so quickly because of our fears and our annoyances and our distractions. To stay focused on something you want, you really have to stay anchored in your why, what's important to you. So you did an amazing job of that. I remember being amazed because you can be a total brat and just blow off things, as you wish. But then when you decide you're getting something done, everybody better stand back because that is what you are doing. So, and I know this was a very personal project to you. As you said, it made you feel vulnerable because you were really going to share something of yourself, not just, tips and not just recipes. So what is the personal story you thought it was most important to share with people?
For me, it was important that I don't write a book which is already there. I wanted to write a book which I wanted to have. And for me, it was important to write something where people can connect with. I can write how good I managed everything. I can do that, but it doesn't bother anyone. It's better to have something you can relate to. So I wrote about my story, and my story, like how I was always afraid of life, how I tried to be someone, or how I decided to live more. Like I had a situation in my life when I was really young where I had to choose, will I live or will I die? So, and then I was really like, I want to live, and I want to live fully. And that was always my purpose. But the way to that was really, like, how do you say? We have something in German. We say stones in the way or something. Maybe we have something.
Obstacles in the way.
Obstacles in the way. Yeah. So I wanted to write a personal story, and then, actually, it's about what I've learned in my whole life, and what I think, and also how I shifted. Like, when I thought always like one chapter is about like people are not. How do you say giftig? It's like people are not like I don't know the word, like bad. You cannot always say people are bad. It's like what you do out of it. And I was always thinking when people are bad to me, I have to throw them away. I have to get rid of them because they're negative and all that. But I've learned to change that and to see to see their point of view, and everything changed, and it's all in that. It's like how it's important not to lie, and what I've learned also in the Handel group and all my way through my spiritual learning.
Yeah, I mean, I love a good personal story because there's lots of good quotes that tell us how to live, but when you interweave your own story, it really pulls me in, and it also, I think it's very hopeful to see, you're a big blogger now, you're very well known, you're really, you've really made something beautiful of your life that's a contribution to people, but you really went from the worst possible story and situation. And I find that I never get sick of that story, right? That story is a beautiful story. And that's one of the reasons I wanted you to, to talk and meet our community and, continue to make sure that people hear those kinds of stories. So whatever situation they're in, they know that it's not the end. It's not the end of the story. And so what we're trying to do is help. We're trying to teach. Is there any particular lesson that you most want people to take away from the book?
What I've learned from you in the hard way, because you can be really tough, is when I was in New York last year with you on the workshop, I did something really bad, and you said you have to tell the truth, and you said you can't grow if you don't tell it. So I did it, and I've learned how to tell how worthy it is to tell the truth. It's like it doesn't matter how the outcome is, but to live in integrity, you have to live from your heart and just to tell the truth. It doesn't matter how, and it doesn't matter how, but it doesn't matter what the outcome is.
Stay true. That's the name of the book. Coincidentally.
Yeah, and it's important that it's not just to stay true. I'm getting a little sick of this "stay true" word, because it can be like a little bit, but it has a meaning of living authentic. Because if you don't live authentic and truthful, you just live halfway.
Right.
It's and I just had it with a friend. She said something to me on a meeting, and I felt really bad after that. And it took me 1 week to tell her how I felt. And then she was, I'm so thankful that you told me that. And I was so happy, because I was like, I felt so, yeah.
It gives so much more than you think it's going to give.
Yes. And it makes you vulnerable. And in a society where we always fake everything, and where we have to be like, mothers have to have a career and have to look very beautiful. And, you can also tell, like, it's too much for me right now. Can we have different, or can we do it differently? It's like, and when you come from that point, everyone understands you, and then you can figure out how you can manage your life.
Right. There's no problem solving if you're not telling the truth. And as my coach once said to me, there's no way you can fully love yourself if you're not telling the truth. There's no way you can be lying or hiding something and be proud and be happy. That doesn't mean everybody just go out and say everything. That's not what we're saying. There's a method. There are rules, and Madhavi followed them beautifully, and that's why it pretty much went very well. And I love how you keep walking the talk of what you're teaching. That makes it so much more powerful. Now, I just want to point out one other thing before we wrap up, which is your book is very beautiful. In fact, all the things you do are very beautiful, I find. You have a very artistic and visual flair. What is the purpose of this for you? What does this mean to you?
For me, it was always important that things I'm doing are, how do you say? Like my graphic designer, Anna Wasma, she transferred my work into something beautiful. Of course, my words, but then when you have it beautiful done, then for me, it's much more work. Also on my blog, I always paid a photographer to do beautiful pictures. I was not earning anything, but I thought it must be beautiful. And I guess if you give it always a little bit more than you have to, it's worth it.
Yeah, that's what I feel when I look at it, and when I look at your blogs and everything, that you're pouring your heart out. It's not just your head, it's also your heart. And I love that.
Yeah. Now, it's good to put money into your work. It's good to do that. It's always, when I guess if I would not put money into my work, my blog is now 8 years old. And if I haven't done that, I don't know if I would be here right now.
Right.
Yeah.
You were actually very smart, I think, in investing in yourself. And this is for people who are watching, who want to maybe write their own book, right? You were very smart about investing in yourself and investing in partners while also just hunkering down and doing the work, right? So you were frugal, but you invested. And I think that balance is really important. Now, a lot of what can happen when somebody produces something or accomplishes something that they've really been wanting to do for a long time is after there can be sort of a retraction or a letdown. And this is one of the things I really try to help clients with, is make sure the next dream is ready to go, because that is a real void when you've been really pushing for something. Did you experience that? And what's next?
Yes. I worked so hard to get this book published because I wanted it published on my birthday. It was the 5th of April. And it came on the 5th of April. And I got the whole box of books. And I opened it and I was like,
That's
okay.
it?
And I went, it was my birthday, and I went to bed for 4 hours, and I was like in a dark hole. I was like, I was really like a postnatal depression. Do you say it in
postpartum
depression? I didn't have it with my children, but with my book. So I was like, okay. I had that for 4 days. But then we figured out, you and me, we figured out how to get through, and I have my essential oils and everything. And then I was like, okay, now I have my new projects to do.
And what can we look forward to in that regard?
I'm working on my podcast right now, and it's much more difficult than I thought, because I do all this technical stuff too. And that's something I have a deadline for, and if I don't publish it, I have a consequence. So, so the 14th of May, I want to publish my podcast, and I will work on that. And
okay, good. I'll be watching, and I really appreciate that you're going to keep producing, of course, so we can keep watching. We're excited, of course, when the book comes out in English, because right now it's only in German.
Yeah, I'm looking for a publisher, so if someone sees it.
Excellent, good, right, because it is a beautiful book and everybody's going to want one. And obviously, if you speak German, get it in German. The link is at the bottom right there. And Madhavi, thank you for, not in your first language, letting me interview you and sharing with us your heart, your soul, your mind, and your beautiful works. I look forward to more conversations in the near and far future. And thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Laurie. Thank you.
Okay. Bye, everybody.